All right, guys, we're going to look at some more potential match fixing here from Stellar, mostly Stellar and a little bit of Thief. They play on Luminosity and Valorant now. And this demo is less of a slam dunk than some of the other demos that I've watched, and maybe open to a little bit more interpretation. So if you're not down with, a little bit of speculation while watching this demo, this may not be the one for you, but I think there's some interesting things to talk about in this demo, and I'll go through it here and we'll talk about it. So I watched this whole demo from Stellar's point of view and from Thief's point of view, from beginning to end. And especially towards the end, which I'm finding kind of typical for match fixing videos, towards the end it gets a lot more interesting. And but as per usual, I'm going to go through the whole demo here. This clip here, I thought Stellar maybe could have played it a little bit better. Like, he's running like he hears the CT running in spawn, so then he kind of follows him, but he's running the whole way. You could argue that maybe he's trying to flank for his team so his team doesn't die or anything, but his team were already in a 4v2 against a half buy, so they were doing okay. This is another clip that's not too bad. Like, if you watch that the first time, you may not have even seen that CT up by the cubby, and maybe Thief didn't see him either, but I just thought I'd put this in here as a clip where Thief doesn't react to a guy shooting at him. But again, I think this is, you'd have to be very critical when going through this demo to think that this is verifiable match fixing, in my opinion. So we'll keep moving along here. In second half already, and I'll go over to Thief and we'll see him retake B site here. I thought these gunfights weren't amazing by Thief, although this is like, he's just got a little sliver crack to peek there, so nothing crazy. This fight out of the window was a little bit awkward and didn't look amazing, but again, I don't think it's anything to be up in arms about personally. Yeah, the fight out of the window is really awkward looking, but yeah. I'll switch to Stellar too, and his gunfight here too didn't look great, but he got dinked right away and then kind of gets jiggle peeked, and they hit another bullet on him and he dies, right? So again, not the end of the world. I wanted to say too, if they hypothetically did match fix this game, then Thief and Stellar would have needed to take an aggressive bet, because I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Gen G was likely the favorite to win this series anyways. But there's still opportunities when you're betting, right? You could bet that Gen G is going to win at 2-0 and then get slightly better odds when you make that bet, even if Gen G were the favorites, right? So if that was the case, that there was match fixing here, then like I said, they would have needed to take an aggressive bet to actually make money on it. And I thought this push mid, when I saw it first, I'm like, wow, this looks really weird how he's just running full steam out, kind of spraying, but it was actually coordinated. Like, they had their whole team collapse on mid when they did that. So it was like, yeah, it looked weird from Stellar's point of view, but if you looked at the minimap, you could see that the whole team was collapsing. They had a flashbang to go off of. And like, these sprays were a little, yeah. See, the spray was pretty weird, but then just not shooting at automatic afterwards is what makes this look a little funky town. He taps like 2 bullets onto automatic. Yeah, I mean, maybe your spray control was out of whack or whatever, but that looked a little weird, man. And that looked really weird. He just kind of taps 2 bullets towards Sick as Sick takes the peek here at A ramp. And yeah, that was, so far, that's definitely the most concerning part of this demo. And like I said, as the game gets later and later and rounds need to be lost, it gets a little bit worse. So over to the Thief here. This clip wasn't too crazy. Thief just kind of peeks out of the smoke here, but you're gonna see the op is gonna come peek out of Palace, and I felt like Thief was a little slow shooting here. Like, the op isn't looking at Thief at all, but it seemed like he delayed a little bit. Saw him with the op, could have definitely taken out one of his teammates, but again, I'm not saying this is a slam dunk by any means. I'm just kind of talking out loud while I watch this demo, and I just thought Thief maybe shot a little bit slow there. The next one here, Stellar's going to push Palace, and we'll see. I thought it was a little bit weird. I'm finding this more and more common as I watch like these match fixing videos. If People are match fixing. They push and they want to die early. It feels like. So I often see guys push when there's 5 people alive or all their teammates are alive. And I'm not sure, like, he hears all that action A ramp, right? To have the confidence to take out your knife and then just kind of walk back and forth is pretty weird. Like, he hears all these nades going out. He hears them jumping up and down, getting ready to take A. There's 5 T's alive from Gen G. I feel like it's pretty likely that somebody's going to be in Palace, right? So that's why I put that clip in anyways. And Stellar here, he's really not shooting at that headshot angle. You could argue that you could barely see the head, but that angle is ultra common, just that little headshot angle behind the box. And I mean, Stellar, a guy as experienced as him, would definitely be aware of that spot. I put this clip in from Thief because he comes in for an amazing flank here, and he gets both the kills. Like, yeah, he's a little bit slower, whatever, if we're talking match fixing, but he gets both of the kills. And this puts Divine up 15-12. It gives them a huge advantage. If you were match fixing right now, you would be pretty concerned, depending on how much money that you bet on this, that you might win this game. You know, if one of your teammates pops off. So next round, Stellar and Thief, what do? Push full steam ahead. He pushes full steam ahead, underpass, makes all these footsteps, and then he actually kind of catches Sick off guard, because I'm sure Sick is thinking, what the fuck is going on? But Stellar's aim was not stellar in that situation. I didn't think that was great. I thought that was a pretty bad clip, to be honest. I grabbed Thief's point of view that same round. This is the same round. So Sick just killed Stellar at underpass. And then Thief as well, tapping around, you know, like that's close enough where you should be full spraying, right? And just clickety clacking with the SIG, and to me it just I mean, it doesn't feel right when you see stuff like that. And I mean, players as good as these people should be blasted. You know, when some guy walks right into your crosshair like that, you know, Sick was definitely not expecting Thief to be pushed up. You should be ready to rock, and that guy should be dead almost instantly, in my opinion. Stellar pushes here. You know, he throws the weapon, which makes it look really bad, but I don't even think that's the worst part of this. The worst part of this is the amount of footsteps and noise he's making. Like, he has pretty good intel that they have action at mid, and he should be aware that they could be Palace. It's just an unusual amount of noise for someone to be making in that situation. So I threw it in. Him throwing his weapon there, it's, you know, it doesn't look great, but I don't think he intentionally threw the weapon down because he knew a T was going to peek out then. Like, I don't think that makes sense either. And then Thief here on the last round of regulation, just super aggressive. I don't think it was necessary to peek there. He probably could have held for Palace, in my opinion, but not crazy. You know, he just gets shot in the side, and he didn't see it coming, so... I'll move into overtime here. This is the first round of overtime, and Stellar makes an aggressive push into Palace.
Dude, that kind of shit's just been happening all game. It's like I'm about to do that, and someone just peeks out.
The overtime really isn't as exciting as the regulation was in terms of match fixing clips, but I mean, this round's a little bit interesting. There's a molly that gets thrown into connector here, but I really don't think Stellar intentionally died here. That's a pretty weird spread for it to spread kind of up to that part of connector. At least I wouldn't have expected that as a player. So I'll show it again here. You can kind of see, like, I'm surprised that the molly got to him, and then they nade him, of course, and he dies there. It kind of looks like a throw, but really I think he just, I mean, you can honestly say that was just a mistake, right? Towards the end of the game here, I'll play out some longer segments of the rounds so you can kind of get a feel for it a little bit, but I wanted to reiterate that I didn't think this demo was really a slam dunk, and I don't think any of these players, to be honest, even the egregious match fixers, really deserve to be lambasted by the community necessarily. Even if it's clear as day in the demo, etc. Really, at the end of the day, these players are allowed to play like shit. They're allowed to make mistakes. They're allowed, you know, they can do all sorts of things in game that make them look ridiculous. Where the problem enters is when money gets involved, right? And me watching a demo doesn't prove that any money was involved, right? We're just showing that this shit don't look right.
Oh my
Is there a high probability that there's money involved? Well, like, you can make your own decision on that, right? But as far as what I'm presenting to you, all I can really show is what I see that happens in the game. So that'll bring us to the end of the demo here, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, leave a thumbs up. If you didn't, leave a thumbs down. I'll catch you next time. Peace.